It will be a wake-up call for you to realize that all 9 days, instead of looking at it as blaming someone or something, I think you have to look at yourself. Because it's very easy to blame someone when something doesn't go your way. So you got a choice. You either blame it on someone else, which in this case is me, if that's who you want to blame, or the exam, or you look at yourself and say, what could I have done? You need to let this be a reality check and open your eyes in terms of how much you actually don't know. 20% I teach and make sure you understand. 80% is your hard work. What you do outside of the class, I cannot control. I can only control you here. If you're not able to do the things that you need to do outside of your class, that's on you. That's your responsibility. That's nothing to do with me. That's actually nothing to do with your parents. Now, you could look at it as, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm a failure, I can't do anything with my life, everyone's better than me. Or you look at it as, okay, I messed up and I need to work and I need to change my ways of working. That's your choice. Right, so.
What are you smiling for? Oh.
Oh, well, it's raining a lot at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not gonna rain, it's gonna rain inside.
Take your hood out. Right. Okay, so how was the exam last week?
Awful.
Easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Your mom doesn't say easy though. I think 150 was a bit of a stretch, I would say.
A little bit.
Tad bit of a stretch for 1.5 hours. One thing I want to say is, well, the questions that I gave, it was something that you've never seen before, if I'm honest. Simultaneous, inequality, sectors, trig. What probably happened is, first and foremost, I took you guys by surprise. Second of all, there was a lot more questions than intended. But what was interesting when I was marking all the papers, the pressure got to you and you forgot your basics. Because the questions that we did, most people got wrong. The basic simultaneous equation, basic quadratic simultaneous equation, functions. How many lessons have we done on functions? I can't even count. That's probably the one topic that we've done a lot of lessons on and people still got all of that wrong. It wasn't hard. What happened is I took you by surprise. I took you by shock and that shook you. And what happened is because it shook you, your brain now wasn't able to think. Some of the simple questions that we do on homework, you're not even able to get it right. Because now your mind is all full of like, oh my gosh, this is hard. Okay, granted there was a bit more questions than intended, but even the questions that you did, most people got wrong. So even if, for example, you weren't able to finish all the questions, that's fine. But the questions that you did, you got wrong. That's my problem. So if you got the questions if you did the questions and you got those questions right, but you weren't able to finish, that's a different story. And I can say, okay, that was too many questions. The thing is, a lot of people make a lot of silly mistakes, and we're going to go through the paper as well, yeah? So you're going to see. And it just took you by surprise. Now, the reason why I did this is because I want to give you a bit of a reality check. I could have gone easy. I could have given you, a simple exam question, and you guys get this sense of false confidence, right? I'd rather you enjoy this now because you still have time. Don't worry about what your school is doing. Your school's only going to teach you the basic stuff. I'm going hard because if you can do this in this pressure, like this was this unexpected? Yeah, good. That's good. Because now you experience what unexpected is, you experience what hard is, even though I don't think it was that hard, but okay, let's say it was hard. So you experience unexpected, you experience hardship. Now when you go and do the GCSE or the school exam, it's not going to take you back by surprise because they'll tell you when the exam is and the questions are not going to be as hard. It's a mentality shift. What happened is the pressure got to you. Just because you know everything and you understand everything doesn't mean that you'll perform in the exam, because in the exam, when pressure and anxiety get over you, everything that you've learned, you forget. That happens to everyone. It's very natural. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It doesn't mean you're incapable. It just means how do you go and deal with pressure. So when you're looking at these questions, if you were to do it again, let's say in 2 hours, would you think you'll get better?
Yeah, no.
Why better?
There's no pressure.
Yeah, shocked, like what would happen?
Yes, but if you look at the questions, are the questions majority, is it doable, would you say, or is it not doable? It's doable, right? I want people to use this as a learning experience, yeah? Now, what's going to happen, most parents are going to know, and some parents are going to say, oh, you're not really learning anything here, you need to change. But what you don't understand, it's not about you're not learning anything here, is you've learned everything, most of it, but what happened is the pressure got the better of you, that was all. If I just gave these kind of questions just normally in class without any sort of exam connotation behind it, it would have been very easy. You'll be like, okay, yeah, this is what you do, this is what you do. But because I just sprung it out of you completely out of the blue, there should be a wake-up call. Now, you could look at it as, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm a failure, I can't do anything with my life, everyone's better than me. Or you look at it as, okay, I messed up, and I need to work and I need to change my ways of working. That's your choice. I never say, and I never will say that maths is important for your life. All I'm saying is that you need to go and do what you need to do to get to the next level. That's it. And then do whatever you want. Just because you fail in all your exams doesn't mean your life is over. That's not something I want to tell you that that's the truth. It's not, even though maybe other people might say it's not. If you don't know what you want to do and you're not doing anything on the side, whether it's a business, whatever it is, education right now is your only thing that you have. So you've got to use this as a learning tool, because I'm pretty sure schools don't give you these kind of questions, right? Let this be a learning curve. I still believe you can do it. I still believe you'll do very well. You need to let this be a reality check and open your eyes in terms of how much you actually don't know. And the things that you thought you knew, okay, how do I deal with that when I'm under pressure? Because that's the most important thing. It's not what you know. It's what you know and how you deal with it in the pressure that counts. Because most people should know these topics, but most people failed. Most people didn't get the grades or the marks. This is better than if it was, for example, in year 11 and, in April you do a mock exam and this is what happens. You're screwed. It's too late. You still have time and you still got time to change your ways. Now that's up to you, whether you want to change or not. That's not down to me. All I can do is I say this to your parents. 20% I teach and make sure you understand. 80% is your hard work. What you do outside of the class, I cannot control. I can only control you here. If you're not able to do the things that you need to do outside of your class, that's on you. That's your responsibility. That's nothing to do with me. That's actually nothing to do with your parents. And by the way, I hope that people understand, when I say do the work, I'm not saying that, again, maths is important, chemistry is important, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying your work ethic, your consistency, your effort, your focus. When you're working, do you have your phone next to you at home? If you do, that's a distraction, because what happens when you have a notification, you're just going to check your phone. Oh, okay, she's messaging me. Oh my gosh, Aaron's asking me for the homework again. I need to block him, right? And then that's it. By the time you put your phone down, you need to now have more energy to focus again on the work that you were focusing before. See, to me, it's going to sound a bit harsh, but I'm glad that this happened. I'm glad that you suffered. I'm glad that you went through this, because now the only way is up. Because you can't go worse than this unless you don't revise. I think about it. I didn't tell you when the exam was, so you had no idea. You're coming in thinking it's a class. I give these kind of questions out of 150. It can't get any worse than that unless I make it worse, which I won't. The school are not going to make it harder than this. The school are not going to tell you unannounced there's going to be an exam. So there's still hope there. Like when you start from zero, the only way is up. That's why I said everything starts from zero. When you're going to start, punchline. No. When I do my punchline, it's always okay. So, does anyone have any thoughts? I want this class to just be today to just talk about this, because I think it's important before we move forward. Don't worry, I'm not going to judge. I think it's better that we just let it out.
God help me.
God help you. Well, God will help you if you help yourself first. Yeah. Just because you think you know it, don't think you know it. Because all it takes is just one little thing that comes out completely out of the blue to take you completely by surprise, and then that's it, it's gone. Give some time to digest what just happened, okay? It will be a wake-up call for you to realize that all my days, instead of looking at it as blaming someone or something, I think you have to look at yourself. Because it's very easy to blame someone when something doesn't go your way. If you can't look at it in those lenses and you blame someone or something because of, okay, it's me, that I'm rubbish apparently, okay, that's fine. This takes time. It's consistency. Okay, you did bad in this exam. Okay, now make sure you prepare for the June exam. And now you don't mess up. So you've got like 4 or 5 months to prepare. How? Praying to the priest. You prepare by doing questions. You prepare by looking at the YouTube videos. You prepare by making sure you do the homework questions. You prepare by making sure that once you do, like I also feel like most people, when the homework, you don't do it after class. You don't do it the next day before. You do it probably the day before class. I know, I'm not stupid, right? It's a human thing. But the problem with that is, if I covered a new topic today and you leave the homework the day before class, you would have forgotten what I covered last week, because you went through your school, homework. Now you're thinking, oh shit, what did we cover last week? Oh, I forgot. Now you're not doing the homework properly. So these things, before you put the blame on someone and something else, look at yourself. Use this as a learning curve. You shouldn't base it on an exam. You shouldn't base it on how I teach. If you understand what I teach, and if you are starting to see small improvements, that's what you should base it on, not an exam. Okay, you did rubbish in the exam. Where did you go wrong? Well, how much work can I actually put outside of my class? How much work am I actually doing? How much quality work am I doing? Am I getting distracted? Am I working in an environment where there's a lot of noise, where family, mom and dad are shouting, or my brother's siblings are fighting? What, you know, these are small things, but they make a big difference. You know, I could have done something very, very sneaky, which is make the paper easy, get the high marks, and then tell the parents, oh look, your child is doing very well. Yes, keep I could have done that. And then you might think that you're doing well, generally doing well because you got the good marks. But then you're not. I stayed honest. Because I feel like honesty wins in the end. The people that leave, when something is hard or something doesn't go well, they'll always end up not doing well. Do you know why? Because when something happened, something bad happened, they moved away. They didn't face it. They was like, oh, it's his fault. It's her fault. It's the exam's fault. It's the teacher's fault. So they're always looking for someone to blame. And because you're always looking at someone to blame, you don't look at yourself, which means that you're always going to falter in life. But for those ones who tackle it head on and be like, okay, I messed up. That's on me. It's my responsibility. I'm going to do something about it. Those are the people that are going to progress. Those are the people that are going to keep improving because they are taking accountability for themselves. They're being responsible. So you got a choice. You either blame it on someone else, which in this case is me, if that's who you want to blame, or the exam, or you look at yourself and say, what could I have done? Also look at when you started to where you are now, how much you've learned and how much you've progressed. I did this on purpose. I took you by surprise. No one else would do this. I'm very different, which is why a lot of people come, because I don't do what most people do. Now you can use that to your advantage and improve. I still think that you can do well. I still think that you've got time. You've got a lot of time still to do well. But the real question is, what are you going to do now after this has happened? That I can't control. That's on you. Each individual is up to you. Like each one of you is your choice. I can't do that for you. So that's where the mindset changes. Because I've had people, I'll tell you this is a real story. I've had people that came in year 11 in October that were on level 5, grade 5. And they were going to private schools, by the way, as well, yeah? They ended up coming twice a week. They ended up getting 9s. And now they're in year 13 of A-level maths. They got A-star in maths as well. And they have an offer in LSE. This is someone who was a 5 in GCSE maths in year 11. Now that person came to my class and said it was hard. She said it was hard. It was like, oh my gosh, this is very difficult. I can't do this. But because her mindset was like, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to blame it on the teacher or the tutor. I'm not going to blame it on this. I'm going to go through the struggles. They ended up getting a 9. I was surprised. I didn't think they would get 9. I thought maybe 7, 8. They ended up getting 9. And now they're predicted A-star in A-level maths. A-star, not A. But those people, when hardship happened, they didn't run. They didn't move. They didn't look at excuses like, oh, it's his fault. It's because he's not teaching well, so I'm moving away and I'm going to go and find someone else. They pushed through and they did something but they took action. And look what happened. They got the grade. Because I can get you the grade, but the problem is, are you doing the work outside? I can't control that. If you're not doing the work outside, I can't help you. It's very simple. I can help you understand. I can make the questions go harder. But if you're not willing to put the work outside, what difference is it going to make if you go to another tutor if you're not doing the work? So I don't want this to be like, I'm not having a go at you, by the way. I hope you guys understand that. I still believe you can do it. I really believe that if we just get our heads together, push through, we have another exam in June, keep working, you do the homework on the day or the day after. Don't do the homework the day before class. Most people do that because you're lazy. But the problem with that is you're losing what you've learned today. That's the problem. If you just get done the homework, finish it, 1 hour max, done. So then next week when you come to class, you remember the topic because you've done it on the day. But if you leave everything last minute, you forget. It's a waste of time and space, which is what your parents don't know. I hope when we get to year 11, we've been A-levels, you look back at this moment and be like, okay, yeah, this was a good pivotal moment because now I understand what Vidish was saying. You might not understand it now. It might not click now because you might be emotional. We'll go through this. We won't go through this the whole thing today. We'll finish off as well next week. But I hope people can see this as a reality check. Yeah, I'd rather you failed now. I'd rather this has happened than you go on a false confidence that everything is okay. That's just not going to work. As a motivation.
Oh, what is that? Bro, this is the same thing. What is that? Oh, my things!
Each one. You're going to get one, you're going to get one. Yeah.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. No one gets these kids.